According to the article, you called them on the phone for them to fasten the process, I guess, for you to be legal to, compete for the city council candidate. Is that true, or they just misinterpret?
So basically, when I went to do
because in the article you sort of deny that is not what it is.
There were a few things written in the article, and I went first of all to do my test, and on the test itself, I made it clear with the guy that was interviewing me before I go and do the test. I told him I was running for the for the local government election. He knew exactly what I was up to. He knew there would be a certain date when nominations would be closed. So I did make it clear to them I wanted to be a citizen on Australia Day, which was the plan. And when I initially made a decision to run, I knew that was possible to happen. Looking at the legislation and everything, it was possible to be an Australian on Australia Day. But that didn't happen. I've got emails that I was sending to them, with my concerns about the delay and saying that I was concerned about missing the nominations. What they said on the article was that I requested to become an Australian citizen before 19th of March. So for them, they think the day, the 1st of March, was still within the deadline. That was not what I requested. I requested to become an Australian citizen on Australia Day. And if you read my first media release, which was on a couple, a few actually newspapers in Australia, it actually says I'm anticipating to become an Australian citizen on Australia Day. So that's what I was saying.
Do you think they intentionally delayed, so you will not stand for the council candidate?
I think I say this, that there were some weird things happening, with the whole application, and whether I can say someone intentionally did it or someone actually didn't pay close attention to what they were doing, something actually weird happened, because they started with, I do understand, and I must say this because I know people are watching, what we're saying. I must say, as a professional in the immigration field, I must say the Australian citizenship has changed. They've been a little bit focused on, trying to find people's identity and national security at the priorities at the moment. But my first frustration is around, how do you let someone come in the country without getting enough identification of this particular individual? They requested my birth certificate. My application was retained twice because I didn't submit a birth certificate. I've never had one. Come from Congo, grew up in a refugee camp. I've never seen a Congolese birth certificate, So I went through that process. The second thing they wanted off me was my refugee card. They wanted my family UNHCR register. They wanted a few other documents that I couldn't possibly have in Australia after 5 years, when I arrived. And when I started seeing that, and I recall even writing an email saying, I believe all these documents should have been obtained when I first applied for my visa to come to Australia. And if these documents were not obtained, whoever did approve my visa need to face some serious consequences, because now which document did I submit to come to Australia? Now I don't know whether they collected my identity or they didn't. So for me as a professional, I think that's wrong. If someone didn't collect my identity when I first came, that was wrong. Or if the guy that was assessing my application, and I told him this, either you chose not to rely on the information I submitted when I applied for visa.
So there was a problem accessing your application. There was, something.
I wish you could have told me that, we can't get information on your file. Can you provide this? But he sounded like he wanted me to submit them, and the department doesn't have those information.
Okay.
For me, I feel like those information should have been collected when I came, because it's practically impossible that you can ask me for a refugee card after being in Australia for 4 years. I'm looking forward to becoming an Australian citizen. That's the last thing I can worry about, to keep in my back. And that was massive frustration that I went through, to see that I emailed all the UNHCR offices to try to get, because they wanted my identity while I was in the camp. That's like, we're now talking about, now I've been in Australia 4 years. I was in Dar es Salaam for 4 years. That's 8 years ago. Now, trying to get all those details, that wasn't easy. I emailed all the UNHCR offices trying to find them, and no one would even reply to my email. You know, and
that is very...
Yeah. So I think something weird happened, and I can publicly say this because whatever happened wasn't supposed to happen, and I still believe that the department, I know they're very concerned about our national security, but I think their concerns are actually affecting other normal citizens who don't have anything to do with this whole thing going on.
Do you think you could have won had it not been the incident?
100% sure. I could.
How sure are you?
Look, I when I made a decision to run, I started running a campaign. I knocked doors, not a single door. I knocked pretty much half of Marsden, you know, and the response that you can get when you're going out meeting voters, you see what people are telling you. You see somebody giving you their time. Usually, when you go to knock doors, people don't want to sit with you for 5 minutes. But I had people welcoming me in their houses. People telling me, "Please sit down. Can I offer you water?" People telling me, "We need diversity in this, in this area. We need to see people like you doing what they're doing." I had people encouraging me.
I also learned from the article that you started knocking doors and sort of campaigning before you were elected. Or
no, so you only become officially
Okay.
You officially become a candidate after the nominations are closed.
Okay.
So that was happening on 16th of February.
Okay.
But before then, you can do anything. Basically, you become an official candidate once nominations have been submitted and the Electoral Commission has approved your candidacy. That process happened on the 16th of February. Now, what usually happens is, as soon as you announce your intention to run, you can start campaigning, because the distance between the 16th of February and the 19th of March, which was the election, is just a month. You can't do anything within a month. You cannot knock 5,000 doors. So basically, the plan that I had was to campaign until when the nominations are opened. I will lodge my nomination application. If it's approved, then we carry on. But unfortunately, I didn't get to that stage because, I knew already that I wasn't going to become a citizen, and as part of the condition to nominate, I have to be a citizen. So I pulled out before the nominations closed. So
a comment from some after the article.
Sure.
A lot of people started commenting, and there was a comment from this lady. I just have to read that comment aloud, and I just want to know what you think about that.
Sure.
So it's a lady. She said anyone representing Australians at any level of government should at very least Australian born. Did you get similar comment from people whilst you were campaigning?
Look, I must say, to be honest, that no one that I met in person told me anything like that, or whether something that I expected.
But have you seen that comment?
Sure, I saw it, and it's a comment that I expected, because we live. This is a diverse community, a place where we have thousands of people. We cannot expect everybody to have the same way of living or thinking the same way. I expected to have people who still believe that way, who believe that everybody representing Australia in any level of government should be an Australian born, which is fine. That's our opinion. I have children who are Australian born. What makes me different with them? I'm having children here, and I respect that opinion, but I still think that's a primitive opinion. It's a primitive way of thinking, and unfortunately, we can't change people thinking that way. But the truth is, Australia is the most diverse community around the world, and what makes Australia the way it is because of people from all over the world. We all meet here and make a nation that doesn't exist anywhere else. The nation we see in Australia does not exist anywhere else around the world. We're just different, and that makes us who we are.
You posted something on Facebook about someone from African background. I think he was also standing for the community.
Yeah, in
council, and
yes.
he was vandalized. Like they painted his face. They painted his face and said "white power."
Yes.
Yeah, you posted that on Facebook.
That was a colleague.
Why? Why is that? And what came to your head, for you to post something like that on Facebook?
As soon as I made a decision to run, I knew one of my poster will have something like that at some stages. So it was something that I was very well prepared psychologically, I would say. I was very well prepared.
For that,
when I see one of my posters being, painted or something on it, what can I do if that situation happens? So psychologically I was fine. But the shock that I had was when I saw a colleague of mine, Mokhtar Wesley, was running for Kalamval ward in the Brisbane City Council election, had one of his posters, mustache of Hitler, and they wrote on a white power. And I must say as well that there are people still thinking that way. And it is a shock that we're having children who were not born during that time and who are being taught the same thing. And again, to be honest, my biggest shock was that post was actually next to a school. So it wasn't actually somewhere randomly on the road. That was next to a school. So whoever did that, for me, I think I condemned him for doing it in a place where children will see. Children want to see what that is. And actually that doesn't make a better community we want to be. If we can have adults trying to intoxicate to children, in things like that.
Yeah.
So I think it's just as wrong as, I don't know what I could compare it with. And I think people need to have an opportunity to stand and let the community judge them based on what they're saying, but not based on their color or based on their background.
Yeah, you can just stand regardless of
absolutely
what background
yes.
it is. But are you grateful that Australians allow you to stand? You've been here for only 5 years.
Yes.
Really, it doesn't happen in other countries.
Yes.
So are you very grateful that you were given the opportunity to, stand as a Logan City Council candidate?
Look, I must say again that it's something that makes Australia different. First of all, our laws. Something that when you go learn about Australian life, we say it's a land of opportunity. Everybody will be given a fair go. That's Australian.
That's Australian.
Where people are given the fair go, whether you come what time 100 years ago, whether you came last year, you're also given an opportunity, a fair go to try something. And for me, I must say that the laws that we have in Australia that allow someone to become a citizen in 4 years and exercise their citizenship right to stand and run for a public office, I think it is something that I'm personally grateful for, and I hope these laws are not going to be played with in the near future, and making them tough for other migrant or refugees missing those opportunities, because I think there's nothing that makes you feel equal, makes you feel home, other than becoming a citizen, going to vote for the first time, or standing for people to vote for you.
So has this incident rather improved your profile for next election?
Look, when I decided to pull out, first of all, my first question in my head was, how do I tell my supporters? Because I knew it wasn't an easy thing for everybody to come to terms with. How do I tell my supporters without having people going, blowing people's mind, I would say, and having other people becoming more disappointed with the country that we're in. So I managed to do that very well, and people understood what was going on, and everybody was fine with it. But again, it gave me an opportunity to get into the Australian politics, look at it, getting to know how I can play safe next time, and really, I'm going back for it again. I've said I will run again in the next election coming up into 4 years, that leaving me with an opportunity to campaign for 4 years, and whoever's won the seat I was coming for, I just say, go for it, congratulations, and do the best for the community, because if you're not, I'll be against you for the next 4 years.
Yeah, so you're going to come back the next 4 years? Of course,
I will come back for the next 4 years.
So what is your ultimate goal in politics? Federal? State?
Well, that's where the challenge comes in, you know. I describe myself as, you know, not a politician. I'm a community worker, and you know, one of the things that motivated me really to get into the local government is because it has that direct contact with the community. I don't want to be a guy who actually sees community when I go to an event and attend for an hour and run. I just want to be a guy who can actually mingle with the community on Saturday and do community work. And I think
you like working with people.
Yeah, I like, you know, that community attachment, and I think local government is what I can do at this stage.
Okay.
However, I see a lot of, you know, things that I see needs improvement even in our state government, and those are some of the things that can motivate me running for a state government in the near future. As long as I keep seeing some of the things are not being done, people are not happy with their representatives, why not standing them, you know, and save them the way they want to be saved. So watch the space. Anything is possible, but I think at this stage I will just stand for the local government, but anything can happen.
Thank you very much for coming to the show.
That's all right. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. We will just watch out for you in the next 4 years.
Sure. Yeah.
You have all my support. We will watch out for you.
Thank you.
So thank you very much for coming to the show, Blaise.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, viewers, for having the time to stick around and watch the show. You all heard what he said. Please comment and share your ideas. If you want to watch more shows from A to A Talk Show, subscribe to our YouTube channel, like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and we will see you again next time. My name is Nanekria. Bye.